Good day, Dredgic here, and welcome back to Star Trek Frontiers. We're getting towards the end of the fourth round now, and we're just cleaning up, getting ready to assault this red Borg. The Klingons have already taken the yellow Borg and are kind of just hovering around the debris field trying to find, new crew members and stuff. There's a couple of juicy Borg crew members awaiting. Okay, well, let's get into this. Starting with Lursa. Lursa is in the Borg cube, so she can do her thing. Now, she can produce... She's got no way of producing actual mana, unfortunately. There's a cocked mana in the source, so we'll just re-roll that. Comes out yellow. We do have Inner Light, which can take a card. It costs a blue, though. There is a blue out there. We have a Diplomacy, and we have another Diplomacy. But she is at -1, and we need 12 Diplomacy, that means, to hire 7 or Uxum. Which is a huge amount of Diplomacy, really. So if we play that with the Thingo, we will get 5 Diplomacy. 5, 6, 7. That does not generate data, it just generates crystals, which is not going to help us. We do have this card, which allows us to take an action card and play its strong effect for free. But if we do that, of course, then we can't do this. So that would be 3, 4, 5 Diplomacy, and we'd need to take a blue. 1 action card in another discard pile, so we would just take this one, I guess. This is the highest powered Diplomacy card in a discard pile, is a 5. So that would be 5, 8, 9, 10, and then we could go 11, 12, and that is the entire hand, but also we have hired one of these guys. Now, which one would be better to take? We've got shields, enemy loses disruptors, that's pretty good. Or we've got this one. All enemies lose all resistances. Enemy loses antimatter weapons, shield 8. So that's an attack 5, a shield 8, all resistances. That's an attack 5, a shield 8, losing disruptors, which is arguably harder. I've seen a lot of disruptors, a lot of fast. That could be good for us. All crew members in your away team discard all wound tokens at the end of the turn. See, that's useless. I think this one is probably... I actually think this one's second ability is better. This one's ability is really, really good, the third ability, but it requires a question mark data, which is very hard. You can't produce it at all. It's got to be... It happens to just lying around the source. So I'm really looking at the second one. So I'm actually going to take Uxum instead. You're bland. So just to recap, we cast Inner Light for a blue, and that allows us to take an action card from anyone's discard pile and cast it for free. We do this one, which gives us 5 Diplomacy. Then we discard this without dice. That gives us another 3. That's 8. This one gives us another 2. That's 10. And then 2 sideways gives us 12. And we needed a +1 because we are negative reputation. And we did do Intimidate, which means we have to drop 1 more even. But on the plus side, we now have a chunky Borg crew member. And we are still drawing to 7. Boom. Oh, dear. Okay. So we've got, basically can only count on 2 more turns. This turn and the next turn for the Federation. Now that's going to be a real pain because Picard has a freaking fantastic hand Okay, so let's have a look at Cisco. Cisco's got a lot of gas in his hand. And he's got a lot of crystals to power it because he's been charging crystals near that red city the whole turn. We can actually do very, very well here, actually. What we want him to do is go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and attack this Borg. So he needs 5 movement. He's going to produce 4 movement with this. Let's take a blue die. And another 2 movement here. So he's produced 6 movement. That is enough to get him in there because it is... So it's 1, 2 to move to there, and then 1, 2, 3 to move to there, and then he attacks into this area. So that's 5 movement he needs, and he's created 6. This also says +4 to your first shield card of any type, whichever you play this turn. And we're going to do advanced shields, and we are going to pay for it with, you know what we might do? Okay, photon torpedo shields. We pay for this. It creates 4 proton shields, but we get +4 from this, so that's actually 8 proton shields. This requires 12 shields because it's actually blue, but we have 2 shields here. So 2 shields can block that. That creates 4 blue left over, and then we create 8 red, which is enough to beat 4 because it's inefficient. So those 2 cards and that block this, so we don't have to deal with the disruptors, which is basically paralyze. Okay, let's let me recap because I'm really confusing myself. I think I've been playing this wrong. This is actually 2 normal attack, 2 blue attack. Have I been doing it 2 blue block the whole game? Because this is actually 2 blue block. Anyway, regardless, let's keep moving on. This guy is attacking for 6. We reduce that attack to 2 by having 2 blue shields on this skill. We now have to block 8. Okay, I'm kind of confusing myself here. Let's go through this one more time to make sure it's all correctamundo. I think I might have been playing this skill wrong the entire game because it's got that blue circle thing, and this is a blue circle. I kept thinking it was a shield for that, but it's actually an attack. I can't remember whether I was playing this as a blue shield or a blue attack. Anyway, regardless, let's keep shouldering on. We do unconventional tactics, plus we have our move, which gives us 6 movement. That gets us 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, and then we can attack the Borg that was standing here. It also gives us +4 to the first shield card of any type we play. This guy is now attacking us. We use our shield here for 2 blue shield, which is efficient, which means this guy is now attacking for 4. We then power this card, which produces 4 proton shields, which are inefficient, so that's only 2 block we've created. Remember, we need 4 block. And this one adds +4 shields, which is 2 block. So 2 and 2, that is another 4 block. It blocks the last remaining 4 points here, and boom, we have blocked this guy and the disruptors are not hitting us. Now we need to hit back. Now he is immune to blue and immune to physical damage, but this card also, because we're doing the top one, creates 4 red attack. So that's 1-to-1 damage. That means there's only 3 damage left we need to produce, and then we are using this for 1, 2, and this for 3, 4. So that's another 4 damage we've created, all inefficient. So we need 1 more point of damage. So I'll just go like this. Bam. Now I need 1 more card. Yep, so that's right. Okay, so it is... This guy's creating 4 attack, which reduces that to 3 block, which we need 6 to destroy. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, I think I've got it. I think I've got it. Finally. And he's dead, which is good. And that gives him +8. Takes him to 71. Bonk, and he gets +2. He's finally out of the negatives. Oh, he's still a -1, but he's doing pretty well. Bonk. And let's draw up to 6 cards. I don't know what I was doing there. Put that in the bin, thank you very much. Okay, and now we have Picard's turn. Now Picard has got an interesting turn. We have 2 options. We can either move to here and try and kill this Borg. I think that's probably the best thing to do. We've got quite a lot of guns. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movement to start. There's a black and there's a couple of reds. Now, the other option is we are about to draw Q. It's got to be in the next draw. There's only 5 cards left. Q will allow us to access any M-class planet. Now, we can produce so much. We can't use Q to access cities, by the way. But we can do M-class planets. So we could actually produce. I mean, we are already at +1. So that makes that a 6, which means that we can spend 6, 12, 18, 24, and we can get all 4 of those cards if we can spend 24. And that doesn't sound as crazy as you might think, because we have this card here. During the remaining of this turn, you may receive the stronger effect for free on all action cards. So that is 4, 4, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, that's not. Yeah, so that's 4, 8, and then anything with an attack card, you can play sideways to gain diplomacy. So that's another 3, and that's another 3. So that's a total of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 diplomacy just there. Plus, we'd have Q himself, which is like another 9 diplomacy, isn't it? We might not be able to get all 4 cards, but we can get pretty damn close. The alternative is we can attack that Borg, which would have its own plus, because attacking the Borg would gain us 1, 2 and make us +2. Let's see if we can get there for starters. We can go 4 movement with a... Well, we have to use this to do the 4 movement, don't we? We need 6 movement. Let's see what we get. Okay, we've decided to go for the Borg. Okay, we roll a red. That doesn't help us. So that's 1, 2 movement, 3 movement. One, 2, 3. We need 1 more card. I'm just going to discard this guy. That's like 3 diplomacy. We don't need all those cards. It's just crazy. And that's going to get us another point. And we can draw. I'm just going to go there. I'm just going to go 1, 2 and stop right where I was. And keep these 2 cards. So I just spent 2 movement down. I haven't used any dice. I've already rolled this, but I'm just going to set it back to the question mark. Oh well, no, I did roll it. I'll leave it on the red. That seems unfair, because then if I decided to change it, I could go, oh well, now I'll roll something else. So I've got a pretty bad source. And the reason I wanted to go there is because we're next to this dude, which means we're going to be drawing 6, 7, 8 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's another 2 cards. Turn 1 data crystal in your inventory into 2 data tokens of the same color. Oh well, let's just draw up to 8. Bam. Well, more diplomacy and Q. So he's going to have a very strong next turn. Also, as we're not finishing on that mine, we don't actually gain that yellow crystal either. And let's go straight to Martok. He is also going to try and buy 7. So he has tons of reputation. He's sitting at +3. So he only needs a lowly 8 to hire her. That's 5. That question mark was taken. So we can't do that actually. That was very annoying. But we do have the +2, don't we? Yes. And there is blue. There is not blue. Gain a blue. So that is 5 diplomacy. And with this, we're actually at 8. So I only need 3 more diplomacy. 9, 10. This counts as 2 diplomacy. And I'll just do this one for 11. That buys her, and we'll also play this guy. Take a yellow crystal. That's the only color we can take. And that's the end of his turn. And he also draws to 6, 7, 8. Bam. Man, another stupid mistake I caught in editing. God, I played like a pudding. Is we only did this to pay for everything, right? So it looked like this. So this gained the blue crystal. This paid the +2 and activated this card. So we didn't need the question mark die. But we still need to discard 1 card. We only had these 2 cards left. And I've got basically this one allows me to use any die in the source, and this one gives me a permanent red crystal. Now, the red crystal seems like it's better, but we've already got 2 in hand. So I'm thinking I might actually, you know, I'm gonna discard this one. So this one got discarded like that. So that's how we powered up that 4 cards it took to get Improvise to run. Which also means you have to redraw 1 more card. And that is the end of that turn. We're just basically doing very, very simple kind of stocking up for the next turn now. The problem is, I thought she was drawing so slowly, but because she hasn't taken many cards, she's got no cards to draw, so she's almost out. She's got another diplomacy here, so she can get 5, 6, 7, 8. So you get 8 more diplomacy, which isn't enough to buy anything. But she does have the ability to stock up the thing. Maybe that's what she'd do. You see, if I was playing Picard in a real game, I'd be like, man, I hope the people at the Yellow City put out new units, because then he could just buy them all. But I feel like that would be cheating. Anyway, that's the end of this turn, and I will see you guys next time.